Hello, clients. So I usually do a night before call with people before they start the program, whether it's a 5 and 1 or 4 and 2 or 3 and 3, whatever program you're doing. And to save you time, to make it easier for your schedule, and so that we can talk about more personalized things, I just making a quick video of some of the frequently asked questions that people have and go over some of the top 10 things. So I just want to go over that with you. If you have a chance, grab a pencil, pen, piece of paper so you can jot down a few notes. And this is a video that I just send out to all people starting the program. So let me look really quick at my stuff. So I sent you a welcome email. Go back through there. There are some links in there. Click on those. There's some few things that are really good to print up that I really recommend printing up. Make sure to do that. There's some good information there. Also, make sure to take your before picture and your measurements. Even if they're not your favorite measurements or your favorite before picture, you're going to want to have that to look back through and to see your progress. So that brings us to the next point of information that we have. Get a daily journal, whether it doesn't need to be fancy, it doesn't need to be leather bound, whether you like to keep it digitally on a spot on your phone or device, or whether you just want a little notebook. But that way you can keep your measurements in there, you can keep your successes in there, any questions that you have, any struggles, you can write that down. You're going to discover what some of your triggers are for a few unhealthy habits, and you can put those in there so you can make a plan as to how you're going to overcome that situation. For example, if Sundays are hard for you, or if social outings are hard for you, you can say, hey, this is what I'm going to do next time. But it's just a place to keep track of all of your information. You don't need to do a ton of writing in it if you're not a big writer. But that way, when we connect each week, you'll be able to look back through there and say, oh yeah, I remember what my question was because I have it written down. It will also help you see your successes, because sometimes we tend to be hard on ourselves and forget the successes that we've had and that we've done. So that's a place to do that too. The next thing I want to talk to you about really quick is fat burn. Fat burn is awesome. It's the whole reason why this whole program works. You're able to lose on average 10 to 15 pounds a month without extensive exercise if you're doing the 501 plan. And you feel great during fat burn, but it usually takes a person about 4 days to get into fat burn. Some people 3, some people 5, but on average 4 days to get into fat burn. So those first few days that you're getting into fat burn, you might feel a few things. You might feel a little bit tired, a little bit hungry, a little bit irritable. People call it hangry. If you get a headache or any of those things, those are completely normal the first few days, but we walk you through it. We give you tips and tricks how to make it easier so it's not such a struggle. And make sure that we connect each day for the first 4 days so that I can hear how things are going and kind of give you some tips to make it easier so it's not an issue. And then by day 4, you'll usually know once you hit fat burn because you feel a lot better. You've got that added energy. You're not feeling hangry. And one thing that makes getting into fat burn easy is you're eating 6 times a day. So you start to get hungry and like, oh, it's time to eat. I can eat now, and you feel okay and doing pretty good. But because it does take 3 to 4 days to get into fat burn, that's also another reason to make sure that you eat what is on the program and what's on the plan and not veer from that, because if you do, it can get you out of fat burn. And lots of times your body will start, when you get out of fat burn, you might start craving carbohydrates and feeling extra hungry, and your body goes into fat storage. And you want to be careful with that. So if you do eat something off plan, reach out to me and I can give you some tips as to how to get back into fat burn quickly and keep making progress so your body doesn't go into fat storage. But just try to stay as close to it as you can, and that way you'll just have faster success if you do. So you can go really slow if you want, or you can go really, just pretty quickly if you follow the plan. So next thing that's really important, and I say all these things are important, but this one, highlight on your paper, 100 ounces of water a day. So that seems like a lot. It is a lot. That is how our body flushes fat out of our system. You might feel for the first week or 2 that your exercise program is running down the hallway to get rid of all that extra water in your system. But it's really, really crucial, the 100 ounces of water a day. So find a way to keep track of it. In your OptaVia guide, there's a spot in there. It says 64 ounces of water. We have some clients with some medical issues that getting 64 ounces of water for them is a challenge. But that is the minimum amount. If you can get 100 ounces of water a day, it will be much better for you. You will actually crave less things if you're drinking 100 ounces of water a day. So whether you're putting rubber bands on your water bottle, whether you are filling up a milk jug with water and marking off where 100 ounces is, if you have an app on your phone, there's lots of really good apps. And we have one called Habits of Health Dashboard. On the Google Play Store, it says HOH Dashboard. That's one. MyFitnessPal is another good one. There's lots of them out there that you can keep track of when you're eating, what you're eating, how much you're drinking, especially the first few weeks when you're creating a habit with that. So that's something important. Another thing really quick too is, so you're going to have, if you're on the 5-in-1 plan, 5 fuelings a day and 1 lean and green meal. So that's 6 meals a day. Make sure that you get all 6 meals of the day. You want to be eating them about every 2.5 to 3 hours. You don't want to go longer than 3 hours between eating. When you do, it can affect your insulin level, and your body might try to go into fat storage and kick you out of fat burn. So what I do, because sometimes I get busy and I forget to eat, is I set a timer on my phone to go off every 2.5 hours. Even now in maintenance, I still eat every 3 hours. And it just reminds me to eat. And that way it gives me a little bit of leeway time. So if I'm in a meeting or whatever, I can plan accordingly to when I need to eat. But just plan on making sure you get all 6 meals, and you want to not eat any later than an hour after when you wake up. 30 minutes is optimal. Some people have to put like a bar by their nightstand or whatever if you're not a person who wakes up quickly in the morning and you're slow to wake up. But make sure that you're eating 30 to 60 minutes a day. If you're someone who takes a thyroid medicine, reach out to me and we can discuss how you do that, because if you take a thyroid medicine in the morning, you have to wait an hour. You have to wait 30 minutes to 60 minutes before you eat. And so we can discuss ways that you can easily do that and still be on plan and not have a problem. So next thing is just make sure that you're very, very prepared. Don't wait until it's time for your lean and green meal, and you can eat that for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can even split it up if you want, but don't wait until it's time to eat it until you're thinking, what am I going to eat? Because especially on day two or day 3 is usually when you're feeling the hungriest. It's really easy to snitch and just eat anything and not pay attention to if you're eating something on plan if you haven't prepared it ahead of time. So some people like to take like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, 5 if you're really quick, and just plan out what you're having for your lean and green meal for the next week. Some people do it on Sundays, some on Saturdays, and just say, okay, this is what I'm doing for my lean and green dinner. And I recommend to everybody to keep it pretty simple the first week. Don't make it complicated. You can start branching out and making lean and green pizzas and stuff the second week, but the first week, to have success, keep it pretty simple. And there's lots of suggestions. You can have chicken and salad if you want, but you don't have to just do chicken and salad. You can have there's hundreds of them. There's lots of options on the Facebook site. There's lots of options there's a website called www.clienthealthtips.com. There's some suggestions in there. There's some in the back of your textbook that has either arrived or hasn't arrived yet. Those are some of the fancier ones, but there's all kinds of stuff. There's also a dining out guide that we have as well. But just make sure that you're prepared. It will make having success much easier. And it doesn't take a lot of time to prepare, just a little bit, but think of that ahead of time. So let's talk about that really quick, your lean and green meal, the actual food you're going to be eating. And I have right here an Optavia guide. Oh, that's not the Optavia guide. That's the Springville City building. Where is it? Well, I just had right here the Optavia guide. It's a little guidebook that talks about the plan. Dang it. I must have carted it off. Oh. I'm sorry. Okay. In your Optavia guide, it's a little book that's about this big, and it comes with your packet, and it talks about the 5-in-1 plan. And in there, it discusses the lean and green meal. I believe it's page 17, and it talks about the lean protein that you're going to be eating. And it also talks about the healthy fats. So your body needs healthy fats so that for brain health, for absorption of vitamins, for gallbladder health, for lots of reasons. It's really good, but you need healthy fats. If you get too many of them, then instead of using the fat in our body for energy and fat burn, your body will just use the excess fat that you eat for energy. And so it won't necessarily kick you out of fat burn, but you won't lose weight if you're eating too many fats. So you do need some, but not too many. And how many you eat depends upon if your protein is in the lean, leaner, or leanest section. So if it's in the lean section, there's already healthy fats in your lean protein, and you don't need to get any more. You shouldn't get any more healthy fats. If it's in the leaner section, you need 1 additional serving of healthy fats. And if it is in the leanest section, you need to add in 2 additional healthy fat servings per day. You can have that healthy fat with your lean, or you can add it to one of your fuelings if you want to do it that way. So just be aware of that, and it talks more about that in the book. I recommend reading through the Optavia guide closely and then continuing to read through it, like just glance through it every day when you sit down to eat or whatever for a few minutes. It's really helpful to go back through that, and you'll discover things that you'd missed the first time that will be helpful to you. But the proteins, it discusses those, and you're going to need either 5, 6, or 7 ounces of protein, depending upon where it's at. And you can look at that, and that is a cooked weight as well. There's also a great vegetarian or meatless guide, and that link is in the email that I sent you. And there's a condiment guide in there as well. You can have 3 condiments a day. There's no need for your food to taste bland. There's a small condiment guide and a small healthy fats guide that's in the Optavia guide. But the email that I sent you, there's a really extensive 6-page list of condiments and healthy fat servings. For example, avocado counts as a healthy fat. You can have more avocado than you can guacamole, though, so that's something to be aware of. And then the vegetables, let's talk about that. On the next page of your Optavia guide, if you turn the page over, it talks about the green section of the lean and green. And so you need 3 servings of vegetables a day, and the serving size that vegetables are depends upon how many carbohydrates it has. So it's either, like, if it's things that are very low carbohydrate, like lettuce, it's actually 1 cup is the serving size of those. A lot of the others are half cup serving size. So most vegetables on there, there's a few vegetables that you want to avoid while you're on the 5 and 1 because they're really high in sugar and they can kick you out of fat burn. You can count them as a condiment, but you cannot count them as a vegetable. And those are onions. And if you look in the condiment guide, it says how much you can have. There's like onion powder that you can have, or dried onions, but it's pretty small amount because they're high in sugar. But the ones to avoid are carrots, peas, onions, edamame, potatoes. Those are things that are on there. You also want to make sure that while you're on the 5 and 1, that you do not add in any additional dairy, any additional milk, any additional fruit, or any additional grains. Your fuelings do have some dairy in them, unless you're allergic to dairy and you chose the ones that don't. Same with grains, and unless there's a version for people that have celiacs or gluten intolerant, then you can choose some without those. But if you're not, then most of them they're like 99% gluten-free anyways. But there's already grains in there, there's already dairies in there, and there's already fruits in many of them. But you're not going to want to add in any extras because it's sugar-free. Now, you can have almond milk. It counts as either a healthy fat, a healthy condiment, or a snack. And there's quite a bit as long as it's unsweetened almond milk. And same with some cheeses. Some cheeses count, and yogurts count as a lean protein. So you can look at that meatless guide and look at that if that's something that you want to do. So let me see. Oh, and your condiments, there's no need for your food to taste bland or boring. There's lots of condiments. There's lots of recipes that you can do. Same with your fuelings. If you want to add some of the condiments to that, you can. You can just divide up your condiments however you want during the day. So you can do that. So let's talk about the fuelings really quick. There are 2 types of fuelings right now, Optavia and Medifast fuelings. And there's a wide variety of them. They taste great. For me, though, and for some people, because my taste buds before I started this program were really addicted to the taste of sugar and full of fat, it took my taste buds a while to get over that addiction. And everything to me tasted very different after the first week. And if it's that way for you, that's okay. Just realize that there's that little period of time. But if something tastes like it's not your favorite, let me know, because there's several things that we can do. We can either adjust or add something to the fueling to change it up so it's something that you like, cook it differently. I have lots and lots of tricks for food, so just let me know. Or you can swap it with someone else. We have a file on the Facebook page where you can swap food with other people, or you can send it back to the company. and you can either exchange it for something else, like return, or you can return it and get your money back either way, or a credit back, however you want to do it, as long as it's been within 30 days of when you've received it, not when you've ordered it, but when you received it. And that's why it comes with a tracking device. So something I recommend to everybody is when you get your food, don't eat like all of one box, because there's 7 meals in one box. Don't eat all of one box and then go to the next box and then go to the next box and go to the next box. You want to try one of everything first, and then let me know what some of your favorites are, if there's any that you struggle, and we can talk about tips and go through that. Let me see. Okay, headaches. If you're the type of person that gets headaches lots of times, and I used to get them all the time, but I don't get them that much anymore now that I drink 100 ounces of water. But especially the first few days, sometimes your electrolytes, for a lot of people, your electrolytes can get off. If your body goes through any type of stress at all, whether it's exercise, hard day at the office, not enough sleep, or a change in your diet, your body will push out electrolytes. That's the potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sodium. And those can cause headaches, it can cause fatigue, it can cause muscle cramps. Something that really helps with that is Powerade Zero. Not Gatorade, not regular Powerade, but Powerade Zero. It has 0 calories, 0 carbs, and it has all 4 of those electrolytes in it. You can count 16 ounces of Powerade a day towards your, towards your 100 ounces of water a day. But you can have up to 32 ounces. Oh, my screen just shut down. Let's see, are you still here? Yes. Okay, you can have up to 32 ounces of Powerade a day and not have it affect you. So something I recommend to people is before you start the program, pick up some Powerade Zero. You can get it at grocery stores for pretty cheap. You can get it at Walmart, Target. You can get it at most gas stations, the Powerade Zero. Pick up a few bottles of it, and the evening of night 1, when you start the program, the evening have 16 ounces of Powerade Zero. It makes day 2 much easier, and do the same on day 2. If you are the type of person who struggles with any artificial sweeteners, because Powerade Zero does have some of that in there, then there's other things that you can have that have 0 carbohydrates in there. There is one that I really, really like. They usually sell it at Good Earth. It's also on Amazon. It's called Elite, E-L-E-T-E, and it's got some good electrolytes in it as well. If you don't live by a Whole Foods store, if they don't have it, you usually need to order it off of Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, it arrives in 2 days. So that's just something I like to tell people about. But if you can handle Powerade Zero, it's a great way to get those electrolytes in those first few days, and then if you ever have any other situation. Okay, Facebook group. We have an awesome support group. I should have added you in it by now. If I haven't added you in it, if I've missed that, let me know and I will add you quickly. It's called I'm Healthy and I Know It. It's a great place for resources. There's a lot of information in there. You can find just about any information on there. Check that first, and then if you can't find it, of course, get a hold of me. I'm here to help you too. There's a lot of great recipes in there, but don't just go there for resources. Check in there. Let people know of your successes that you've had. Ask people, if you're struggling with something, say, hey, how do you get over this? But it's just a way of building support for each other. One thing I love about it is just the positivity that's in there, and people are pretty real that are in there. But it's just a way of kind of holding you up and supporting you and helping you out, creating this web of support for you. We also have webinars on Wednesday evenings. Those talk about the habits of health, and then we also have a doctor's call that evening. It's really, really helpful. We call them our Habits of Health calls. If you can hop on, and I send out an email as well before those with the link to that. If you can hop on the evening, and those are 30 minutes long, great. If for some reason you've got other stuff going on that evening, then catch the playback the next day or whatever. And I've had to do that a few times too, and just watch it while I am folding laundry or getting ready for the day. I listen to it on my phone, or I'll put on my Bluetooth headset in one ear and listen to it while I'm driving. I'll download it to my phone or my device and listen to it while I'm driving. Drive safely. Don't watch a video while you're driving. Just a little plug for safety there. Let's see. my notes. Okay. This is my assignment for all of my clients. I expect to check in with you once a week at least, just see how you're doing, celebrate any successes that you have, give you any tips, answer any questions. I'm not a weight loss coach. I am a health coach, but yes, I want to make sure that you're having progress with weight loss if that is a goal for you. And so we talk on that. But we focus on a different habit of health each week and just talk a little bit about what the health is. The weekly check-in call on average is about 10 minutes long. If you need a little bit longer, then we do that. I don't want to take up all of your time though. I know everybody's busy. So that's something I expect to do. I usually do my client calls on Thursdays, unless there's something else. But you know, everybody has family, everybody has schedule, and I have a family too. So I try to do that on Thursdays. Also, Take Shape for Life, which will soon be called Optavia. They have a fantastic texting campaign that they do. If you receive free texts on your phone, then it's free to you. So you will receive a micro habit of health text every morning if you text the word Optavia 30 to the number 99000. So it's OPTAVIA, Optavia, and then the number's 30 to the number 99000. So if you text that the night before you start the program, the next morning for the next 30 days, then you'll get a text from them with little micro habits of health to help you out. They will ask you for what your client ID number is. You don't have to put that in there, but you can. It's helpful. It kind of customizes it to you more. But your client ID number will come in your box on your receipt. It says that on there on your receipt, and probably in an email from them too. If you can't find your client ID number, let me know and I can look it up for you as well too. Let's see, I think we have, also I want to talk to you about exercise. So exercise is an awesome habit of health. When you are in weight loss phase, when you first start the program, you want to be careful that you don't have too much exercise versus caloric content, because it can push you out of fat burn. So something I recommend to everybody is for the first 2 weeks, cut your exercise in half. You don't want to be doing too much. And then on week 3, we can talk about adding in more activity and getting you up to that. If you're not exercising right now, then obviously you don't need to cut it in half. But we individualize it to each person. But that's just something to be aware of. Let's see. Oh, going back to the Lean and Green. If you have a food scale, that makes a huge difference for your Lean and Green. A lot of times people try to guesstimate how much protein they're getting, whether it's 5, 6, or 7 ounces, and they almost always under guesstimate. So weighing that protein is huge. And same with measuring your fruits and vegetables. You need to make sure that you're keeping your carbohydrate content, your carbohydrates daily under 100 carbohydrates a day. And if you're eating your fuelings and measuring your vegetables and eating on program and watching that, you will. But if you're eating too many vegetables, or if you're getting too much fat in your protein, that it can either kick you out of fat burn or it can make it so you don't lose weight. So it really, really does help with making sure you're getting enough protein to feel good, and watching those carbohydrates, and it gets your body into fat burn and you just feel a lot better. You feel good. So let's see, do I have anything else? Just wanting to make sure that I have gone through everything with you guys. Yep. Okay, so I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I'm really excited for you. Let's make sure to talk the night before you start. I can answer any questions that you have. I recommend not having your first few days be a day where you've got something big and exciting. Like if you're planning on getting married on Saturday, don't start the program on Thursday, because it's hard to keep a consistent schedule when you have something major going on in your life those first few days. So when you're starting something new, try to have it, you don't need to be staying home all day, but try to have it be a day where your schedule is pretty much what it normally is. So it's easy to add something new in. I think you'll really like this program. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. It's just those first few days of learning how to do it that's something new. So that's why we work through it together. I'm excited for you and look forward to working closely with you. Talk to you soon. Bye.